Hi everyone, I'm Alyssa and welcome to my overview of my fact sheet on comprehensive sexuality education. We first need to understand what comprehensive sexuality education is. CSE is an age-appropriate, medically accurate, inclusive, evidence-based approach to informing individuals about the physical, psychological, social, and emotional aspects of sexuality and relationships. CSE differs from common abstinence-only approaches as it highlights crucial holistic health ideals outside of the limited topics of pregnancy and disease prevention. Comprehensive sexuality education is important because the lessons taught through this approach are applicable throughout the entirety of one's life in a multitude of environments as they address the broader topics of well-being, including relationships and sexual identity. The crucial lifelong skills that CSE teaches encourage healthy and fulfilling relationships and provides individuals with accurate information that allows them to feel competent in making decisions regarding their bodies, health, and safety. CSE also promotes respect for healthy boundaries set by oneself or by others, especially concerning sexuality and sexual rights. Comprehensive sexuality education has been shown to increase positive behavioral outcomes amongst teens, especially when paired with HIV prevention programs. CSE effectively delays the age at which teens initiate sex and reduces the number of sexual partners one has, while also increasing the use of contraception. Delayed initiation of sex and increased contraception use are two prominent factors attributed to the decrease in teen birth rates. As seen from 1989, a peak year for teen pregnancies, to 2017, the rate of pregnancies decreased from 7.5% to 1.4%. Comprehensive sexuality education aids in the development of life skills necessary for building positive relationships, including the skills of empathy, emotion management, self-control, and communication. These skills reduce homophobic bullying and intimate partner violence, as well as prevent occurrences of child sexual abuse. Individuals in all stages of development, including early childhood, adolescence, and adulthood, should have access to comprehensive sexuality education, as it focuses on human rights, including the rights and empowerment of children and young people. It normalizes the idea that sexuality is a natural part of human development. Sex education is the most effective if the learning of age-appropriate knowledge and skills begins in early childhood. Beyond early childhood, the knowledge and skills would advance and progressively build off each other through the stages of adolescence and adulthood, being taught in a similar way to any other school subject. CSE should also be inclusive to individuals with cognitive or physical disabilities who are commonly perceived to be asexual beings who are not in need of sexual education. This notion is inherently ableist and blatantly false, as these individuals share similar concerns as their peers regarding their sexuality, and thus their access to information about anatomy, development, sexuality, contraception, and STIs should be at the same standards as their peers. Individuals who are part of the LGBTQ+ community should also be included in comprehensive sexuality education, as those who participate in relationships that are not heteronormative deserve equal respect and access to educational information, especially in regards to one's sexual health and ability to form and maintain healthy relationships. A prominent mainstream alternative to comprehensive sexuality education is the abstinence-only approach to sex education. This approach is federally funded, and over 80% of the information taught through these programs includes inaccuracies about reproductive health and false claims about the effectiveness of contraceptives and risks of abortions. Such programs also teach gendered stereotypes and religious beliefs as fact and distort medical and scientific facts. Congress has continually funded abstinence-only education programs despite numerous studies that prove these programs to be insufficient and ineffective. The best thing policymakers can do to increase access to comprehensive sexuality education is to pass the Real Education and Access for Healthy Youth Act into federal law. This would end the federal funding of abstinence-only programs and initiate 5-year federally funded grants to CSE programs that would be required to meet the national sexuality education standards. The elimination of federal funding to abstinence-only programs would greatly reduce the teaching of misinformation disguised as sex education. This misinformation marginalizes LGBTQ children and reinforces harmful gender norms. Additionally, this form of program ultimately fails to prepare young people with the necessary knowledge and life skills to take charge of their sexuality and maintain their reproductive health.